Hello and welcome to Enterprise Friday on Enterprise Television. I am Kengdi Bodurin.
And I am Henry Igwebike.
We are delighted to start this day with you, and as usual, we begin with a quick look at today's newspaper headlines before diving into our main conversation of the day. You don't want to miss a moment with us. You can join the conversation by liking, following us on all our social media platforms at Enterprise TV7, and please don't forget to share. So joining us this morning is Sonny Igbonago. He is a journalist, author, and public affairs analyst. You're welcome, sir.
Good morning to you, Mr. Igbonago.
My pleasure indeed.
So we do appreciate your time.
Yeah.
So let's kickstart today with the first daily on our desk. Coming from the Vanguard newspaper, we have the big story: impeachment. APC Rivers Assembly at war over Fubara and the deputy.
Okay, on the top strip, we have FG direct shipping firms, airlines to submit manifest via national single window.
Nigeria attracts $14 billion of foreign investments in 9 months of 2025.
We also have Nigeria attract $14 billion foreign investment. Okay, still the same thing. Yeah. Okay, we have U.S. Senate rebukes Trump over Venezuela.
And also bloodbath in Benue. Rival cult gangs kill 8 in supremacy clash.
Okay, and on sports, we have FG disburses AFCON bonuses to Super Eagles.
All right, on a congratulatory note here, Oxford Dictionary adds Mami Market, Amala, other Nigerian words into the glossary of its dictionary. But Mr. Wanugo, let's start with governors who defect should lose seats, and that's coming from Mogalu. At this point, we have overstated some of these things, and it makes good sense that if a governor defects from his party to another party for whatever reason, he should at least have that grace of saying, okay, let me lose my seat and maybe contest for another in another party. Do you work with that?
Of course, it sits well with me, because that's the way it is. In other climes where political parties are supreme, that is what obtains. The individual is not bigger than the party is supreme. That is what happened in South Africa when you had Thabo Mbeki.
Yes.
When the party felt it was not doing well, the party simply asked him to go and brought Zuma.
Yeah.
And when Zuma also, in the party's own eyes, misbehaved, they asked him to go.
Yeah, and he moved to another party
So that is the way it works in tenure climes. You cannot say that, you see, the mandate belongs to the political parties and not to individuals. So if a party takes you to the people and says, this is our program, or these are our programs, this is what we want to do for you, and this is the man that we do it. Anytime that man steps out, the people who own the mandate still own the mandate, and they elected you based on those programs that you have outlined that you want to do. You understand? And that is the reason why they elected you. So you cannot take that mandate to another party, because they saw the other party and preferred your own party. You understand? So that is the way it works. You cannot say, because I am governor and now decide where to go. If you move on your own and the party stays. That is the way it's supposed to be. So what Moralu said, I'm on all fours with him. But the point is that in Nigeria, what we have is a demonstration of crises, as Fela would say, not a democracy. You see, and so many things pass. So many things are allowed in our democracy. That is why one man can stand up and say, I need you, regardless of the people, regardless of the fact that votes are the property of the people and not a single individual.
Of the people and not a single individual. That's one. This what you just said carried, in fact, weight a lot. Okay, sir. So, how does this instability impact, right? Or how does this ongoing instability impact the governance and security of Rivers State?
Well, you can see that when somebody is distracted or destabilized, it is very difficult for him to concentrate, one. Secondly, you know, in Nigeria, you have to settle a lot of interests in order for you to have the stability to work. You understand? When this crisis starts, no matter how disciplined you are, there are certain interests that you must settle. And when I say settle, I don't mean by word of mouth. You must give them some package. It's traditional for us. If you go to see a king or you go to see somebody that is important, it is cultural that you must take something to the person.
Definitely.
And when a governor does that, he's not taking his personal money. He takes it from the state coffers. So that one is also part of it. So it eats deep into the state coffers when this crisis starts, because governors have to settle a lot of interests in order to remain in power to govern. So even if he says that he's a disciplined and incorruptible, there are certain extent that incorruptibility cannot work, because you have to settle interest. So apart from the distraction that, you know, when you go to bed, you can, instead of thinking of how to improve the loss of the people, you continue to think of how you are going to meander through the maze of crisis in your state. You understand? So that's a distraction in itself. So apart from it, you also have to eat into the state coffers in order to dilute some of these crises.
Well, that's a very tall one, and we sincerely do hope that maybe a revisit of our constitution might correct one or two of the many shenanigans that we have as made possible by Nigerian politicians, sadly. But let's take a look at sporting activities, but this time from the context of politics. Federal government disburses AFCON bonuses to Super Eagles finance minister. Before this disbursement, Mr. Ibanugo, Peter Obi had made inserts on some of them, saying that it is utterly despicable that while the federal government under President Bola Ahmed Tinubu would write off debt of the NNPC amounting to trillions, but will the delay in paying bonuses to Nigerians making Nigerians proud? Bayo Ononuga, whom I would love to know you, who I would love to believe you know too well, said that Peter Gregory Obi called him Bitter Peter, Mr. Bitter Peter. Yes. So what's your take on this? Knowing that Bayo Ononuga during the days of military dictatorship was one amongst those like Peter Obi equally calling for some of these things.
You see, it's a sad commentary on even journalism itself, because this is a profession where I have practiced for the past 34 years. So it's a sad commentary on journalism itself. You see, journalism is a profession where you have to win, you have to divest yourself of personal opinion and personal interests in order to advance the professional aspect of it and the cause of the people. So when Bayo Ononuga, who is a veteran journalist of international repute, who was in the trenches for the advancement of democracy, for first of all snatching Nigeria from the vice grip, from the vice clutches of the military, to have what we have today. For somebody of that reputation to come and make this type of statement, you understand? Relying on worn-out cliches to advance this type of argument is in itself a sad commentary on journalism. Now, coming to the nitty-gritty of what the issue is, Peter Obi couldn't be more right when he said when he made that allusion. Look at the country writing off 15 trillion. It is in itself, I don't know how to put it, too bad. I are not talking about calling to question the people that made this happen.
Yes.
You understand? Well. For how long did they tell us we are borrowing $2.1 billion? Then we are borrowing $1.5 billion to put into the
Port refinery,
we all saw this. You made all this. You are not, in fact, you have turned away from the people responsible for plunging the country into this type of mega debt. Then, when you do that, for a people, how much are we talking about? Winning bonuses for super egos. Somebody like our president can just order one of his aides. Just like Wole Soyinka said about instead of getting Nigerian soldiers to go and fight in the Benin Republic, why not tell your son, those people, just 10% of those people following him, let them go and quell the riot. You understand? So one of Tinubu's aides, one of them can simply take care of do you know, did you see the number of vehicles donated by the Femi Gbajabiamila to some of his I saw the vehicles at the stadium the other day last year. I saw the number of vehicles. Somebody who is chief of staff. It's not that you own companies. It's not that you own manufacturing industry. You don't. There's nothing you own except from your salary. Then from that your salary, you donate hundreds of cars or vehicles for your supporters. It is not possible. It is not possible. So Femi Gbajabiamila or any other of Tinubu's aides could simply, very easily, sleeping on his bed, order that those winning bonuses, be paid. But you see, until the Super Eagles players started threatening that we are not going to travel, that was when the issue became a national issue. So why allow it to become a national? That is the point P2B was trying to make. So there's no way you cannot align with this type of argument. It doesn't make sense. That, and you know that football, something like that is an Eliza. That is the type of thing for it, that for today, in today's Nigeria, that can put a lot of happiness in the life of Nigerians, at least for that temporary moment.
In fact, Mr. Bonogo, it's been stated that during matches where Nigerians are involved, even bandits, came back to watch.
Everybody. Everybody dropped
they drop their weapons and they want to watch.
So that singular moment of relief to the people, you also want to deny them. That's the point P2B was trying to make. So it couldn't be wrong. Couldn't be wrong. These people are wicked. That's the right word to use. It's wickedness.
But then again, do you think the private sector should take over the full responsibility of, financing?
Well, in other climes, like institutions like the NFF are funded from private initiatives, private funding, private enterprises, advertisers, TV rights, everything comes from them. You understand? They fund this thing from the what they generate. But in Nigerian case, they won't even allow you. They will delve into it, and everything is for individual interest, for pecuniary interest of people. What am I going to get out of it? Each person, from the first person in NFF to the last person, everybody is thinking of what am I going to get from it. From minister, there's no minister of sports any longer now. It's the national sports, what do they call it now? That is what we have now.
Yes.
From the first person there to the last person is thinking of what I'm going to get. And what I'm going to get is not just a so small change.
Yes.
No, each of them want to buy SUV. The smallest man in that place wants to buy an SUV. That's why they will struggle that they want to put my name in the delegation that we go to watch that match. He has no business there. He has no business, but the smallest man will struggle if he's a fine lady, a young lady, fine, beautiful lady. She would like to befriend the
person, yeah.
whoever is responsible in fixing those names.
good
Exactly.
to put her name. She has no business there whatsoever. And you find the names of cleaners and the other people in the list of those who are going as officials to go and watch Nigeria. They have no business. There's no business. So that is why the private sector initiative cannot work.
Oh, okay.
So government must be involved because government officials must steal money from public till. You understand? But these ones are independent. It's just like saying the Independent National Electoral Commission in Nigeria working independently. You know that is impossible. So that is the way it is. And Nigerians are wired toward government. Everything that is wired toward government. And that is why people who ought to speak out cannot speak out because everything, even your private business, is tied somehow to public institutions.
Oh,
Very
okay.
well. And this is why, lots of Nigerians are sore in total aghast when a very dark man made public Sheyi Tinubu's poster in Morocco. And one would wonder, what is the poster doing there? Is he a player? Is he part of the FFF or any of those teams? So what exactly is his responsibility in Morocco?
You'll be surprised that Tinubu, Sheyi Tinubu himself does not know or did not know about those posters.
Those posters, really?
Yes, it will be those. What do you call it now? What do they call sycophants?
Blind loyalists.
Yes, those are the people they will put those posters, take pictures of those photographs, and bring to him. That is the only time he will know.
But is
See what we are doing for you. You understand? That is the only way he might know. I don't think in my own thinking that we ask them to go and vote because it's a waste of time. Who is going to vote?
Who knows him there?
Yeah. So it is for somebody, a bootlicker, a sycophant, that will do it and put it there, then take picture of it, then to go and show him, and for that something will pass. Yeah, you are doing well. You are doing well. Go and do more. You understand? Notwithstanding that if the table turned in the next second, that same man that is doing that eye service will turn 360 degrees against the same thing. That's the way it works here. That's the way it works. That is the funny aspect of it. I've seen it in my days in journalism. There's somebody, just because of an announcement on TV that this man is no longer this, addresses a press conference condemning the same man he was the ballet for. Well,
it is not strange with the likes of Daniel Bwala, Reno Omoko, Femi Fani-Kayode. It's not strange that we have all of these things, blind loyalists all over the place, hoping to get what comes from the master's table, unfortunately. But sadly, this is debasing our democracy and setting us backwards rather than seeing ourselves to move forward. Just to let you know that Sonny Balugu will still be here to take us on our main conversation when we return. Political fast in Rivers as Fubara impeachment faces pushback. That in a beat. Enterprise Friday it is. Don't go anywhere.
We'll be right back.
Thanks again for joining us. This is Enterprise Friday, reaching you from Enterprise Television From our corporate headquarters in Lagos State, Nigeria, on to our main conversation for today. Political tensions continue to rise in Rivers State as major political parties and socio-cultural groups have rejected the impeachment moves against the Governor Siminalayi Fubara. The Ijaw National Congress (INC) and the Ijaw Youth Council (IYC) have urged the Rivers State House of Assembly to immediately halt the impeachment process, warning that it poses a threat to democracy and stability in Rivers State.
Very true. INC President Professor Benjamin Okaba described the impeachment attempt as an assault on democratic principles rather than an ethnic issue, recalling that the crisis had earlier been resolved after a 6-month suspension of the governor and his deputy. He also expressed concern over the renewed political confrontation. IYC President Dr. Alaye Theophilus called on lawmakers to focus on governance issues instead of impeachment, insisting that Governor Fubara should be allowed to complete his tenure.
All right, we still have Sonny Ibanugo, journalist, public affairs analyst, and author with us. Thank you so very much, Mr. Ibanugo, for hanging on.
My pleasure indeed.
Yes,
Thank
so
you.
this is a brewing problem. It's been here. I do not know if I should call it season 2. Yes, and Wike versus Fubara. We had season 1 before the impeachment. Now, after the state of emergency, really, yes, after the state of emergency for 6 months, this is now season 2. In this season 2,
episode 1,
episode 1, because there's still lots to come. What do you think is the gross yes and Wike has for Fubara, his godson, the River State people, and leaving behind the FCT that he is supposed to take care of without pipe-borne water, without healthcare facilities? What is the problem with Yesom Wike?
Well, I think this is the tragedy of the Nigerian situation politically. You see, when you lose focus on what politics is all about, there's no way you can get it right. When the source of the spring of the water is found, the rest cannot, there's no way you can get clean water. That is exactly what is happening. You not understand, my own understanding is there is no perfect conspiracy. Once two people conspire, there must be betrayers and infighting. Once you win the battle, you defeat the enemy or the supposed enemy, you come back and do the internal fighting. That is exactly what is going on. In 2023, all of you conspired to wrench away the mandate of the River State people. Take it away.
Now, at what point now? Because the last we learned was even the primaries that produced Siminalayi Fubara was not honorable enough. There were lots of people who were supposed to vie for that primaries for the PDP, but yes, and we insisted that Fubara must emerge. So where did the conspiracy actually start? Is it from there to the presidential election in 2023?
At every stage, at all the stages, once one man comes and says, it's me that will choose the candidates and who will run for what, that is where the problem starts. For you to even to have such a mindset, it is not by persuasion. It is by force of power and by the use of the institutions, the wrong use of the institutions, that will make it happen. You understand? For instance, the political parties, the PDP in the first place, it was not strong enough or was not democratic enough to ensure that everybody that emerged out of the will of the people. They couldn't instill that in the party. Then when you now come to the larger scale, the elections itself, you find out that it was not what was voted in River State that was put out there. Both at all the levels, you sit down on your table and write the result and submit our next to announce. So how are you going to have Because you see, human beings are insatiable. When you win one stage, the next stage is what you want to conquer too. You understand? They have conquered the electoral process. What they want to now conquer is the institutions and the entire firmament, political firmament of the country. Is what they want to conquer, and they are set out to do it. And if nothing happens, if nothing stops them, they are going to do it. So who will stop Wike, for instance? Except now that Fubara had joined the APC. Yeah. Perhaps the big wigs in APC are going to step in to convince the big organ who is the man tweaking all these things. All of this.
Who started it in the first place?
If all these things are on his table, you understand? It depends on what he wants now. If the big wigs in the APC are able to convince him, because all this thing takes it to remove yes on weekend.
Yes, exactly.
Just one statement is no longer minister. That's the end of this matter. That's the end of the matter. The moment he's no longer you see, you know, it's when power jam power. You saw what happened between him and the lieutenant.
Yes, exactly.
You saw when power jam power. You saw the way he left that place. He left that place a scared man. Completely scared. Because as he was going, he was turning back. Because anything could have happened. You understand? So when this power, when you meet equal power, there is nothing you can do. So perhaps that is what is going to happen. That he will meet equal power from the. They have already told him you are not a member of our party. You understand? Yes. They have already told him that. So the only place he will have the source of energy to complete what he has just said is the big man himself. Of course, unfortunately, nobody knows because he's not in town.
Yes.
We don't know how much anybody tells him. It's not you can't reach him now.
You can't reach him.
No,
no one can reach him. Even as a wicked can't reach him.
So you don't know what he thinks. Maybe that is what they're even exploiting.
Exactly.
Wow.
Perhaps if we are in Nigeria.
Yes, it would have been easier. Because to be honest with you, before now, I used to fight why President Bola Tinubu left the country. But I'm beginning to understand he's dodging from most of this.
So if maybe he now comes back and they tell him they have impeached Fubara, well, there's nothing I can
even
do.
if he comes back,
he can't reverse it unless he does what he did in the Lagos State House of Assembly. I have to say go and put him back. I don't know if he could do that. But maybe they are exploiting the lacuna of his absence. Because nobody can reach him to say, "Okay, please stop this." Because before Fubara defected, you know, he left the meeting. It was after he left the meeting with the big Oga and came back to Rivers State that he defected. So there must have been an agreement. So perhaps if he were in town, Fubara could telephone him or go to the villa to see him, and all this will stop because that is the only one. If he calls Wike today and says stop this rubbish, he will stop it. But it's not there. Nobody knows. So the country is in a fluid situation. Nobody knows what will happen. So these are the things that make our democracy so ugly. How can you be talking of a country in Nigeria moving towards a one-party state? All the governors, nobody has the will power to say, I won't do this. To say, this father no further, I can't go further, I can't do this. Nobody. Everybody, because they want to win the re-election. Is playing ball. They tell you want to connect to the center. Connect. What about those who connected to the center earlier? What is it that they have gotten? What is the improvement in the life of their own people that is not there in the next state that has not moved? So it makes no sense. So when you come to it, what we are seeing in Rivers is a macabre dance that nobody knows how it's going to end. And it started from the rigging of the 2023 presidential election. It started, everybody has his own place, enough blame to go around, including Mahmoud Waziri. the man who pronounced the technical glitches. Yes. If that technical glitches had not happened, perhaps a different man would be in Asoro today, and our system, our political system would have been cleaned up so that we won't have this type of thing. Because it is only when you want to capture power that you use everything to break the door with your leg. You know, if your support is organic, you don't need this type of breaking the doors with your legs. Well. That is the only thing that will save Nigeria. Clean up the system. Let whoever is in power be somebody that was voted for. You understand? Like it happens in Ghana. Every 4 or 8 years, you see them changing. A new political party comes into power. By the force of the people. Not by the force of... Because, but in Nigeria, they will say, we will rule for 100 years. And by whatever it is, if nobody stops them. If nobody stops them. If what happened during the time of Jonathan, something maybe in another way does not happen. Take it as given. Exactly. Who is going to stop them? Nobody. On the day of the election, the governors, they are now recruiting. What they will do? They take the election to government house. While you are there in the sun, suffering the heat of the sun, voting. Somebody is writing result in government house. And when they finish, they give an egg, they upload it in the IRF. They upload the result from the list, on the IRF, and ask you to go to court. So what do you do in such a circumstance? Or they would have done it a night before. In the morning, they start uploading it on IRF. You are saying that this is not what we voted in station 1. This is not what we voted. Who will listen to you? It's only courts that you go to court now. Yeah, exactly. This is not the result of polling booth 1 or polling booth 2. This is not this. Nobody is listening to you. A professor, a vice chancellor will be the one. You see, that is how they have bastardized every institution. A vice chancellor, I know you to know what the professors are. There are people you cannot mention certain things to. A professor, a university professor, you come and ask him to rig election. In the day, professors were professors. But today, it's professors that they will appoint, that will rig that will come. You know, the election, the result is reading. It's contrived, inaccurate, and stolen. He knows, but he goes ahead to read it because he has been offered something. Which is similar to giving a first class, similar to giving first class to a mediocre who is about to become a medical doctor. Exactly. You are encouraging him to go and kill people. To go and waste people. You understand? But you see what happened in Abia State? Yes. Well, a professor said, no, I am a professor. I will not sit here and allow this to happen. Now see the result in Abia. Abia State is about the best governed state in Nigeria today. By force of that pronouncement. If the old order had remained in Abia State, what we see today will continue to be lamentation. I had Ijaw Council saying the other day that what has the man done? He has not seen anything. I was invited by the same OG in 2005 or 2009. I was very close to that government. I was invited by that government for a media tour in 2006 or 2005. There are several times, so I wouldn't know the one part. One of the issues there was the flooding of Ariara Market and Aba as a whole. The flooding of Aba as a whole. The explanation of this same order was that the people had built up in unauthorized areas, and the only way you can deal with that issue is to destroy people's houses and then create the correct water channel. You understand?
Yes.
Today, I can tell you that problem is no longer there.
And no house was
No house was demolished, no house was destroyed. Oh. That has been solved. Aba is now about a beautiful city now. You understand? And this is a man that is claiming that that this man has not done anything. That's okay. What does he call it now? Alaye has not done anything. I am a witness because I used to be a friend to Abia State government for a long while. Not only Oji, even though succeeding him, I used to be very close. I used to go to that state at least once in every 3 months. Oh. So there is nothing you can tell me about when you have a good person elected by the people in power. It makes a lot of difference. It changes a lot of things. That's what we don't have in Nigeria at the national level. The person at the national level is not the one Nigeria elected. And that is why you have the road you have today. Because it's not beholden to the people. You know they can get there in spite of the people. Yeah. That's the danger.
Okay, so what political interest may be driving the Rivers impeachment attempt?
There's no political interest. The only interest there is the interest of Nyesom Wike. The only interest there is Nyesom Wike and his desire to have a political dynasty, political hegemony in the state, starting with his son now trying to go into the House of Representatives, not even House of Assembly. Not even, that's where to start now as a young boy of maybe less than...
He's 25.
25, you are 25 years. And your first point of call is House of Reps and not House of Assembly. And he's going to get it. If what his father is doing succeeds, he's going to get it. After all, in Lagos, we had the governor, the man, his own wife becoming the senator for how many years? So how many years? How many times? As much as she desired, she wanted it. If she wanted to go there again now, she will go there. Yeah. So once our system operates on the strategy or on the principle of capture INEC, capture judiciary, commandeer the security forces. Apologies, Dr. Sam Amadi, because that is the Nigerian model of winning an election. Capture INEC, capture judiciary, commandeer the security forces. Others are mapping of constituencies, how you are going to speak to them, to convince them. That's in other places of the world. Or what we used to know in politics in Nigeria before. How many times have you now, Henry, gone to any field to watch a political rally on your own? But before, that was what we used to do. In this Lagos, I know how many times we went to watch our children. You left whatever you are doing, they say Awo is coming to social school. Or Zik is coming to social school. You left whatever you are doing, you do it quickly. In order to go and listen to political campaigns. You are not getting anything. But now they use buses to bring people to political. And then at the end of the day, they give them 1 or 2,000. But in those days, you left whatever you had. And you trekked long distances to go and listen to political campaigns. That was what used to happen. Today, it no longer happens because these people don't need you. The only people they gather there is for window dressing, so that it will appear there was a campaign. Not that they really need you. So until we go back to that era, there is nothing we are going. So when you ask me what the political interest, it is Wike's political interest, as opposed to the interest of the people of Rivers State, where he can stay, build a dynasty that he will nominate and say this person go. This person go, just like we have in Lagos for 25 years now. If there's none sanction you, one man doesn't sanction you, you can't go. No matter how powerful you are, no matter how you are loved by the people, you cannot go. So that is what we want to create in Rivers State. Okay. And of course he's going to get it if nothing checks him.
Wow. That's actually a very sad one. But the truth remains that people who have refused to learn from history would make repeats of those who have been before them. Alaye Theophilus used to be in this position. Today, where is he? James Ibori used to be in this position. Yes. Today, where is he? Dimi Silva is now a fugitive of the law. Used to be on top of everything. Malami?
Yes. Malami, yes.
And today
people don't learn. The only person that did something remarkable was the late Ibrahim Mantu. That's the only person that I've seen that in the context of what you have just said. He was the one that did something remarkable. Few months before he died, he came to Okaba national television and apologized for his atrocities, he committed in politics, telling the whole world that he helped in rigging elections and putting people who ought not to be there in place. You understand? That's a very remarkable restitution.
But why the restitution? Why not correct it at the time?
No, there was no longer.
Why must it be restitution when the harm has been committed?
It was no longer. But this is for me. This is enough. At least let there be an acknowledgement.
So similar to IBB writing a book and saying that. I've seen all sorts.
IBB, I don't know whether he apologized for the June 12th this. I don't know. What he said was that he now said he acknowledged that Abiola won the election. I don't know whether he gave a public apology that for annulling the election. But he said he wasn't the one that nullified the election. It was the forces, Abacha forces. I also believe him. It was the Abacha forces that nullified that election because he was almost like a lame dog at that time.
Yeah, exactly.
By his own ambition. So, but for me, what Mantu did was good enough for me. If at least we could start from there as a stepping stone. If other politicians could come out publicly at their, at their end, to come out and say, this thing is not good, I did this, it's not good. Maybe one or two people can pick it from there. So while they are plotting this, they will remember what this man said. You understand? And they may remember and they could influence them not to go do the whole hog.
Wow, how time flies, really. Ibrahim Mantu, you actually brought me back to some time in our political history. Ibrahim Mantu was there. He controlled the Senate. He was there speaking and all of that.
Yes.
Oh, gracious goodness.
Yes.
How time flies. No one remembers Ibrahim Mantu. If not just that you mentioned it now. You could imagine. Most of people can't remember or know who he is.
They are the ones that will dismiss you in those days.
Wow.
If you are saying that people are rigged, they will dismiss you as a disgruntled element sent by politicians to come and vent your spleen on something that the election is the very credible election that are taking place. You are coming to say that it is not a credible election. Where are you? Who is sponsoring you? These are the things they say in those days. But look at him. When he knew it was
all over.
He came out to say, well, I rigged the election. I am sorry.
Wow.
And it's just like the thief. The thief that was crucified with Jesus Christ on the cross. It was just a few seconds to his death. That he was now going to enjoy his in paradise. For admitting, I am a thief. I am a thief. And pleaded with Jesus Christ. Remember me when you get to paradise. And Jesus Christ forgave him and said, this night, today you are going to be with me in paradise. So if we could start from there, let them start from there. On their deathbed, of course their son will be there on their deathbed.
Yes.
I'm telling my son, see what I did when I was alive. I rigged the election, I did all this, I killed people, I did this for me because of what I did. People are crashing on the road, bad roads are dying. People went and acquired wrong equipment at the airport, and the planes are crashing and things. And these are my handle. These are the things. Now I'm on my deathbed, I'm dying. Please refrain from all this. Don't do this. His own son will be listening to him. He could change his son. If he changes his son could change another person, and another person will change, and perhaps we may get it right.
All right, let's just hope that works for us in Nigeria. Lots of people didn't get the opportunity. Sani Abacha had no opportunity of doing that. Sadly, he's equally been forgotten, and lots of other issues there. But that's all we have for today. Thank you so very much, Sonny Badugo, for being here. It's a pleasure always having you, and have you, bring us up to speed, especially for Gen Zs who are watching, who might not have clue what we're talking about. This is more like a referral to everything. That's about the time we have for today. Love to say thank you for making this a day. Please do well to follow us. You can visit us at enterprisetvnews.com. You may equally like, comment, and watch, and download and equally share to friends and folks when you visit us at Enterprise TV 7. I am Henry Ikwibike.
And I'm Kenby Boduri.
Have yourself a splendid day. God bless you.
TGIF.
Bye-bye.